Hello?
Hi.
All right. Hello, everybody.
What's
Welcome
good?
back to the Around the Block podcast, which is
Uh,
the one and only. It's kind of there's one now. There's a Puzzle Kingdom one now, right? Anyway,
the
I am
Puzzle Kingdom one's
Ors.
not out yet. Okay.
Yes.
So for the
Yes.
time being, we are the only Tetris podcast, I think. Citation needed.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm Ren, joined, as always by Ors with
And
yeah, but a bit of an interesting topic today, I think.
yeah. So as we record this, there's the well, maybe that's not the best place to start. But as we're recording this, there's an event called the uh, Fight Night, like Tetrio Fight Night.
Tetrio Fight Night by MMC, Modern Mino Community, and Puzzle Kingdom.
Yeah.
Uh, I think I was actually like probably supposed to commentate it, but I did it
Uh,
because I'm doing this. But
do you know what the lineup is? This
uh, I can grab it right now.
it looks like we
So
have
we have, let's see, looking at the fight night list, we have Quick and Smart and Mayaz. Uh, it was
Potatoes
this Tatoes,
versus
yeah,
Sim Shrimp,
Tatoes and Sim Shrimp. QZPHS and
Jack,
Jack. Small Beepus
and
and
Kion,
Kion and Zephaniah and
Shania,
Game
and Game
Player.
Player.
Yeah.
All very
So
solid. Yes.
uh the topic for today by and large will be talking about like Tetrio up and comers or
Or
Tetris
just up
up
and
and comers
comers in general.
in
And I
general.
think that's
Yeah.
a it's a really good starting point actually for this topic because so first of all, obviously it's like some of those players that we're going to talk about are in this, which are like of that caliber are in this, like Quick and Smart, Mayas, Tatoes, and Simp Shrimp.
Yeah.
Um, so
They're all like very, very good players they haven't like had a huge chance to like prove themselves in like a tournament scene quite yet.
yeah, yeah, like of like we talked about like top players before, but none of these players are like storied, like uh have been playing the game for like years upon years. Most of these people have started the game like around when we did.
Yeah.
So like, and even some, I feel like Mayas and Tatos are like started playing during Tetrio. Is that true?
Really?
I
All
don't
I
know.
I only know that Sim Shrimp started playing around when
Oh,
I did.
okay.
Uh, which is crazy to think about.
That is pretty
But
crazy.
yeah. Uh, like the fight night in general, I think is a great way to show off like the players that are on the way to the top and
Yeah,
players that might end like 13th or like not really be able to be shown on a tournament stream
yeah.
because they just get emulated like slightly too early.
It's also
Doesn't
just
mean they're
like
any bad.
such a smaller commitment compared to like a
Mm-hmm.
time commitment compared to a big tournament. And you get to play that like usually there's only like one if you're not a top player and like you're not going super deep in a tournament, there's only like usually one match that matters, right? It's the match against the guy that's probably seated around the same place as you and you have about 50-50 chance of beating. Fight night lets you basically just skip to that skip to that match and then you just leave.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, the other reason why I think that uh, MMC PK Fight Night is a good place to start is because of the other kind of way that we're starting to see up and comers and why I personally thought that this would be a good topic of today. Uh, so for those of you that don't know, MMC, which is used to be called Matchmaking Central because its primary function is to be a matchmaking service. It was before Tetra League, and um, now I think it's still mostly used for Jstris, but people use it for
People use
Tetrio
it
too.
for Tetrio friendlies.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's like, and like obviously they don't have like an elo system or whatever. It's all just kind of like you ping people around your skill bracket. Um, but the top skill bracket is very kind of guarded. Ben is very particular about making sure because I mean, we've talked about it with Ben before, but this server was made mostly for top players, right? So he doesn't
Mhm.
want top players to get annoyed and get pinged by like
Like
players
Joe
like
Schmo.
below their caliber.
Joe Schmo Renge can't be pinging quick and smart for friendlies, you
And
know.
so like, and also it's like it's kind of toxic to just say like, yeah, you're not good enough. So he made it a he made there like a specific requirement to be a red, because the role is red or verified 100 plus APM player. It has nothing to do with
Hmm.
APM. It used to be about APM, but then there were a lot of people that can cheese 100 APM just by playing against like a good, like really clean sending player, and
Yeah.
then you just get free 100 APM on your 10 game. But yeah, so the challenge is called the aspiring 108 plus.
M-
I'm just gonna keep
MMC
calling
Red
it red.
aspiring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the aspiring red challenge, right? And what's happened recently is that so many people have gotten it within the past like week or so. Let me try and get these people listed.
I think there's four people, five people.
It's like 5 people. So it started with Quick and Smart, about 2 weeks ago, who kind of opened the gates. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly 2 weeks ago, who kind of opened the gates. OSW, um, Keshi. I
Then
feel like Keshi was
Keshi
kind of like
Keshi
long time
should have
coming.
already have it. Yeah. And then Vichev also got it,
Vichev
which
also
was
just
kind
should
of
have gotten it. Yeah.
yeah. And then Mayas
Mayas
got
as
it.
well, and now Tatos.
Yeah.
But a lot of
And
people are just going for it now. I've been the aspiring role. In order to even be eligible for the challenge, you need to have beaten an aspire. I didn't even go into what the challenge was. Basically, you need to beat three red players in first to 15 sets.
on Tetrio or
On
Jstris.
Tetris or Jstris. And in order to even qualify for the challenge, you need to beat them in at least a first to 10. So I kind of just got my aspiring role, and then I kind of feel like there's no way I can get I can like really beat like three red players, because I definitely couldn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of people started to get kind of like a lot of the aspirings, because like MMC is like its own community. A lot of the aspiring players just kind of were pretty like what's the word, like stagnant or comfortable.
Mm,
I forget the word. Basically, no one tried to get red.
complacent. Complacent.
Complacent, yeah.
That's
We
the word
started
you're
to
looking
get a
for.
bit complacent with our standing. But
Mm-hmm.
then Quick just started to play red players, and he played like
He played like 10 of
10
them, I
different
think.
people,
Yeah.
and he even rematched among those. And it's like then he got it, and it's like, wow, I guess these are the floodgates. But it's less, I think, about these players like becoming good with this challenge, and it's more that this challenge is starting to show show these players, right? There's not a lot
Mm-hmm.
of opportunities for recognition um, in the in for like the
Within tournaments at least.
yeah.
I think there's
I'm not
very
sure
little shot
the
for
word
people
what
to.
to call it. It's like the tier below like the top player, but there's a growing tier right now of like just underneath that top level. Like they will not be
Mm-hmm.
like if they were to play at the beginning of the Tetra era, they would undoubtedly be considered a top player. It's just that there's so many people that are this good now that you're not really guaranteed like top 8 or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, so we wanted to talk, or I thought we should talk, so we planned it about about these players. Mostly the ones that we know. Obviously like pretty much the entire like top 100-ish, maybe 50 is probably more accurate. Uh,
I'd say around there.
it's kind of
100
inaccurate.
to 50.
All those players are like of the caliber that we're talking about. But like we
Mm-hmm.
did a little video like at the beginning, near the beginning of the season 2, where we talked about top players. So now we're trying to, you know, go a little down.
Expand the scope a little.
We will eventually get down to talking about every single C plus player in Tetrio. And
We'll have a whole episode
yeah,
for 24K players.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
But
but I
yeah,
think the most obvious player to start with is probably Quick and Smart. I think since we both know him,
yeah, yeah. Um,
Quick and
so
Smart,
I
you
don't think he
know,
enters that much.
he does. He
Does
enters
he?
he enters all my tournaments at
Oh,
least.
I'm dumb then.
I only know this because he's a very active in like the staff channels between matches because he just like helps us do stuff
Okay,
while he's
maybe.
waiting.
Yeah, I'm toxic then.
That's
um,
okay. It's okay.
but yeah, I think Quick, what he's mostly known for is definitely his like PCO spam. Like he is uh what I like to call he's one of the firestorm school of PCs, which is where you don't do a lot of setups, or like you don't memorize a lot of setups for the different PC numbers. It's just about like uh doing a decent looking setup and then being good with the solves. I think
Mm.
he started to learn more setups like a year or so ago, but still very low setup compared to like some of the people you might consider like the pros of PC or whatever. Like
Mm-hmm. Like hummus or like Jimothy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just like he's just pure like intuition and solving vision. Um,
I think that's the thing that other than Firestorm is generally very like pretty rare to see within
yeah,
within a player's skill set.
I think
And
it's
like there are top players who do it, but nobody does it quite like Firestorm.
yeah.
But Quick gets close.
I mean, well, a lot of players. I think like it's generally like if you started to learn PCs before like the Tetris era, you generally that's how it ended up, I think.
Mm.
Um, because like if you're like a versus focused player, and you are trying to like use PCs as like an opener kill, there's no reason to learn pure PCs. Um, and I think he was started learning before 4LOL came out. I'm not sure. Um,
Was Quick and Smart before my time? I guess he must have been.
I remember seeing him around in Modest chat when I was playing Jaws. Um, he was talking about applying to colleges. um, but yeah, I think other than that, I would describe Quick as a really all-around player.
Mm-hmm.
He's described himself as well, like he has like a swimming background. Um, so it's like he's swimmers are
He's
all
done
about
all
just
the
like
above.
grinding stats, grinding numbers, or like just getting the times down. He plays every game mode pretty much. He does a lot of cheese grinding. He was part of my daily cheese challenge, and yeah,
We're big Quick and Smart fans in this house.
yeah.
Uh,
To the next
while
person,
he
I'm gonna
was,
sorry. Oh,
oh,
you can say
I
one
just
more
want to,
thing.
yeah. While he was doing the aspiring challenge, I think a lot of us were we there when he got the last one?
No, 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 we
No, we
weren't.
were there when he lost the one,
Yeah,
I
we
think.
watched him in VC play Poke Dialga.
And then he lost.
And then he
Anyways, moving
lost.
on.
Yeah. But yeah, another player that's really good and up and coming, and is pretty. He also is in my daily cheese challenge. Is QL4.
Oh, wait. Oh my God. I forgot that QL is still very, very under the radar
Yeah,
for
he
most
he actually
players.
got the red roll like a long time ago. But I feel like he's also part of that tier that like kind of just like yeah, that guy just deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I used to kind of go even with him back when he was like downstack less.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I could like go kind. It would basically just be me like living, and him just killing me, and if he made a mistake, I might win. But now he does not die as easily, so I can't win.
Hmm.
Uh,
Kyo's a very, very strong player.
yeah. What does he know? I think he's mostly known for. I'm also gonna try to bring up the. But Kyul's known for his like APM spam, and I think he's a big like loop guy.
He's a big loop guy.
uh,
He knows a bunch of them.
yeah,
He also got second in the 5 million blast,
yeah.
I
For
think.
those of, yeah, that's
I
probably
think
what
that's
people
probably
will
what
know
he's most known for now,
right
is being
now.
second place in 5 million blast, which I
Yes,
don't know. Not exactly a great legacy, but a legacy nonetheless. I love QL.
yes. Okay, I brought up the Tetra channel.
He is indeed number 17 on the leaderboards right now.
Yeah, yeah. 140 APM average, 3 PPS. Little crazy.
Yeah. QL is a player that I think has like the best shot of like randomly making top 8 in a tournament.
Yeah,
And like nobody really expects it. But he's like in that big skill bracket, but he's just like nobody knows who he
yeah.
is.
I think like that, like basically top player tier is probably like people that are around like the top of Tetra League. Like, I
Hmm.
mean, we've talked about some of these players, but I feel like we only like mention them in passing, and we should probably like talk about them more in depth. Like Vichev, um, I can't remember. Like, I'm mixing
Vichev's
up so many
another.
different people because like we talked about this when we were going, like, um, there was the Stacky Awards with like the upsets,
Hmm.
like up and comers and like upsets. I remember discussing this there, but I don't remember like um I don't remember like whether we've already talked about that or what we've talked about here and what we haven't talked about.
We definitely talked about Vichev, if only because he is probably the single most. Where you know what? Where's Sim Shrimp right now? Hold on. Oh, he's 36. Okay,
Yeah.
he's probably the best player of like the people who became good very, very quickly.
Yeah.
'Cause- so we definitely have talked about Vichev, but there are a lot of players around this level that have
Yeah.
been good for a while, but aren't like at the winning tournament
Yeah.
level, that I think are getting like
Yeah.
a lot of chances as we like as we stream like top 32 matches or top 16 matches, or like stuff like fight nights. You know, like
There's a
OJ has been playing a lot of fight nights.
there's a tier of player I think that like or like there's a group of players that got super like that reached this level really quickly but just kind of happened to um like maybe break through just recently, but this group of players is definitely like a QL kind of um
Hmm.
garden sale for sure. uh
Sim Shrimp.
Simp Shrimp. Can I talk about Garden Sale actually first?
Yeah,
Garden
we can
Sale
talk about
used to be so bad. I don't I'm a fan of Garden Sale, but like he used to be so bad. And then he just like spammed quick play apparently. Like I didn't hear from him for like well actually he's a UC helper, so I think looked at him. I like kind of saw him talk. We maybe interacted a few times, but he was like last year like a 60 APM like player on Jstris. Maybe it was like Tetrio abuse that
Hmm.
like he was like a huge Tetrio abuser. I think he was higher APM on Tetrio, but like on Jstris he would just play 60 APM, and then I think he just kept practicing like APM spam and like back to backing on quick play and just kept on the grind, and now he plays at 3.6 PPS apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
3.6 PPS,
Uh,
137 APM. Just, a very classic up and comer story.
yeah. I think. I mean, I don't. He's also put up some pretty good results in other tournaments, but I think like the one tournament he did like surprisingly, or like I don't know how to describe this. The performance I saw from him that was kind of It's kind of the funniest. Do you remember the MMC the
The
mini
doubles
Mino?
tournament?
No, no, not the
No,
doubles
Mini
tournament.
Mino 7?
Mini Mino with the instant garbage.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah. Yeah.
Mini Mino instant garbage.
8?
It was a really
8.
like dumb rule set where it was like, oh, like you can't cancel any garbage and you don't like when you send an attack, it instantly appears on your opponent's board. Like just it was awful. It was really really scary, but like it was almost entirely like speed and damage based. And so a player like Garden Sale definitely was able to play up. I think he got third.
Yeah, it was
It
like
it was honestly
Diao
like
Vince
yeah.
Garden Sale.
So and he played he had there was like a kind of a nail biter with Diao. So when Diao plays tournaments, I feel like he kind of just trolls. Like he kind of like plays 2.5 PPS until like he starts to play like a Vince. Like
Hmm.
the threshold for like player he will try against is like really really high, right? Like if you're not like
Yeah.
top 5 in the world, he'll probably beat you at like 2.5 PPS. Like okay, maybe that's still fast to some people, but like
He will beat you at a significant speed
yeah,
deficit if you're not like
yeah.
top 5, top 10.
And like I remember watching that match and he was kind of like trying that and then like he realized, "Oh, this rule set I cannot do this. And against this guy I really can't do this." And that's how it looked to me. Cuz then they both started like playing at like well above 3 and it's just
Hmm.
it's the most stressful thing to instant garbage rule set was the most stressful thing to look at and play. It was awful. And that's I mean, I know some people enjoy it, but it was crazy. That's my
Yeah.
piece on Garden Sale. Um,
Garden Sale's pretty cool
yeah,
overall. And
but
I'm really excited to see where they go
yeah,
from here.
Sim
It's like
Shrimp as well, like a big
six.
up and coming Latam player. I
Hmm.
don't know too much about him.
He beat Togaya. That was one of the
Yeah, yeah,
biggest
yeah.
upsets last year.
Yes,
He beat Jed in the fight night.
yeah,
He, I think he actually just like beats Jed now,
yeah.
which is pretty insane.
Is he
He's another player
better?
that I
Is it
think
like? Is it like is he like a contender for like the best in Latam? Or I guess like
is like
I don't know what the
he's probably a
narrative there
contender for
is.
third because it's Togaya
Keshia,
above everybody else.
Togaya, Keshi, Ovi, Jed. It's like Jed, Ovi, Sim Shrimp for third?
Yeah, is Kashi better than
I
Jed?
don't know about Keshi. Just those four are kind of like hovering around under Togaya somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah, Togaya is also pretty scary. I
Togaya's
guess
sixth in TI now.
Tato's. This is for Ireland. I'm a little okay. Just forget
Oh, man.
about that. Anyway,
Tato's Tato's another great player.
this is not about these like super good up and coming players. I guess does Promo even count? Promo was like a big PPT player. I feel like that's a little different.
Promo was big
QB,
in PPT until last year, and then he like started playing Tetrio a lot, and now
yeah.
he like usually finishes like ninth or seventh in big tournaments, which is like really
Yes.
really good. But he's kind of been around.
Um. Yeah, but everyone loves Promo. I think he's especially a big guy
Hmm.
in the with PK. So
Yeah, he's big with PK. He's big with the caboodled
yeah, yeah,
crowd.
yeah. He's good friends
Also,
with Cav
Promo
as
started
well.
streaming.
Oh yeah,
He started streaming and he's pulling like 50 viewers every stream.
that's
I'm
a lot.
super.
That's crazy.
Dude, that's the power you get
That's the power
as
you get by
being
being a
Promo.
PPT player. You just do back to backs. Everyone's like, oh my god, that's crazy. That's just
Yeah, freestyle blitz. We had a whole section about this
yeah,
on one of the other episodes. Is it
yeah.
great?
I mean, definitely one of the players that are like that kind of a tech or like like
Hmm.
I'm an offensive player TM like that are like that brand.
That's that
That
can
is
actually
promo.
say that they
Yeah.
are a very offensive player
Um,
as well.
but yeah. Um, yeah. Those players I feel like have been noted a decent bit.
Hmm.
Uh, I guess what I had in mind when I was talking about, I guess we haven't particularly talked about them, but what I had in mind was like the kind of tier of player that, um, are have been pretty good for a while, but are just now kind of up and coming. I saw Ovi also start to like seriously try for red. I think
Mhm.
they posted a set against Mayas where they won. I don't know if they're going any higher up, but Ovi's been good for a really long time.
Ovi's been super good. Ovi's been super
Yeah.
good.
I feel like they probably just didn't like took some break from the game because they were
Mhm.
like just destroying me like like a year ago. Like I don't know. Um,
I don't know. I think OV was also like played a lot before my time because I haven't seen them in a ton of tournaments.
yeah,
But the
yeah.
one tournament that I know that they did well at is sort of meme, but he did do well at the one Jstris Cup. Like he got like third, I think. But he was also in the side with CZ in it. So
Uh,
I don't know, man. That
who else
tournament was
is
something.
here?
Let's see. Let's
Um,
see.
I mean, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of players we could talk about that are like, yeah, there's just so many people that we could talk about. I recognize a
Mhm.
lot of people, but I don't know if it like fits the narrative here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Um,
But like regardless of that, I think it's worth noting that just the sheer volume of players that are like ascending in that level
yes.
is like probably huge ups to like TL and like easy
Yeah,
rank
yeah.
matchmaking and that stuff for
Yeah.
like fostering the amount of growth that we do see.
There's also a lot of players that just kind of like don't really or maybe it's just me. Like they don't interact with like the tournaments scene or like I guess they're not in MMC. So like the red thing is probably like a broken narrative.
Hmm.
I know Sakura somebody mentioned was just got randomly really good in MMC like or I don't know. I remember
Hmm.
they're like just like a really good like APM spammer or something. Uh, Another player on here. There's also a bunch of like kind of lurking players that are really really good, but just like don't play TL or even like
Hmm.
don't like is RKY on here?
I think he's unranked. I think he's unranked.
He's 44th. I'm dumb. RKY is really good.
RKY is 44.
Yeah, he's very good. Okay, it's here where I think instead of just continuing to like drop people that we know, um, I think it's a pretty good time to talk about what makes a top player. Um,
Hmm.
or like for the past few years, what has made a top player? Because we don't really have a good way to differentiate between like as you get better at the game, anyone can take rounds off anyone. Anyone can kind of take sets off everyone. Everyone's continuing to get closer and closer. But what used to make, in my opinion, or like it's a pretty common
Hmm.
opinion, or back in the day, what used to be considered the like the the speed required to play at a top level was just 3 PPS, right? It was kind of a
Yeah.
shorthand. Um, I think it was like people asked like Firestorm and a Janba. So I think this is a Garbo stream. So I think back in the day, like at least the number that I got that community had was like, yeah, you should play around like 2/3 of your sprint speed. Kind of a BS number nowadays. That was before people could even play as much versus as now. But it's like basically you when asking like a Jamba and Firestorm about like what sprint time do you think you need to like compete at a top level? They
Hmm.
both answered 25 seconds, um,
And now,
which is like
no.
right. And 25 seconds is a 4 PPS sprint, so two
Hmm.
thirds of that is like
2.8 ish, 2.7.
2.8 ish, right? Um, so yeah, it's like around and like that's pretty I guess I rounded it to 3 PPS. That's about the speed Quick is playing. I think Mayas plays a little faster, but it's just like
Yeah,
if
it's a little fast.
you can play at like around 3 PPS and be functional, continue to send damage, don't and if you don't stack yourself into a corner and die at 3 PPS, you're a top player. right? Like that's
At
kind of
that
just
point, you're
how it
like,
goes.
yeah.
But if you look
Like
like
if you scroll down the leaderboards, like every good player, every player that's like you look at them and you
yeah.
go, they could
Hmm.
probably make top
Yeah.
16.
There's
They
some
play around
outliers I think that are
2.8.
like 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
But the vast majority here are like 2.3, or like 2.9, 2.8,
Mm-hmm.
2.8. Who's this? Mifu? What the? Oh shit! I think I did hear about them at some point, but I think they're just very efficient. I don't. I can't say that I know. Maybe it's just me looking at the stats, but I feel like I've seen this name before. Um, yeah, so many,
Yeah.
so many, just very fast and
Mm-hmm.
efficient, and like efficient
And staying
players.
fast and efficient is honestly just like how you will get good. Because I think there's a like sh how do you shorter, not shorter, shorter cap to how fast you can play versus to how like efficient you can play. You know, like if you're
Yes.
3 PPS and 70 APM, it's harder to push that to playing at like 5 PPS 120 than it is to push to being like same speed, but you improve your decision making. The best players are the best players because they have the speed chops and they have the efficiency chops with
Yeah.
it.
I think a lot of people might. Yeah, it's just like efficiency kind of caps as well, though. Um,
Hmm.
like it's this is kind of why like there was also some narrative for a time where it's like it's better to become fast first and then like become more efficient later versus like becoming efficient first and then becoming fast later. There are no stories of players that were like like 2 PPS like incredibly efficient and then suddenly they just started playing faster and faster and faster. It's always the other way around for like top players like Vince, CZ, Diao, where it's just like yeah, they kind of spent years and years playing just kind of and then like playing really fast as well. And then slowly it
Hmm.
seems like they brought it back. They brought in like different parts into their game. But that raw like speed and like mechanical prowess is what is the foundation which the rest of their game is built on. Like you look at a player like Vince, you look at a player like Diao who like before he was known as like a player that just kind of played 3.5 PPS but didn't win anything, and then suddenly like he just started to get better and better
Started
and better,
winning
and then
everything.
like it's like oh he plays 2.5 PPS and now we can't beat him either, or I don't know.
Hmm.
CZ as well. He was kind of like I mean he was already like very good, but um, the narrative at least is that he started to kind of implement some sharper decision making into his game by like playing with Numoy. Apparently
He was a
Numoy,
child of the Numoi school of
yeah,
thought, is
like
what I heard.
Numoy said he used to be able to like take a few sets off CZ, but now like he can't even imagine it. That was also a while. That was like a year ago. I'm building
Hmm.
there. I'm
We're
fibbing a
writing
little bit.
narratives
We're
today.
writing
It's not a
narratives
bad
today.
thing.
But
But yeah, if
that
we
that
look
was
at
the
a
yeah
lot of the
sorry
players that we were talking about earlier,
yeah
Simshrimp, Garden Sale,
yeah
QL plays even faster.
yeah. But
Or Garden Sale
nowadays,
also plays
I think
faster.
it's not really like just speed, right?
Hmm.
It's speed and it's speed specifically like APM wise. Like you don't really see players like super fast players. At least I don't think so. Like they're just like outshined by players that learn how to play fast with good APM stacking. There aren't any like up and comers that are just or the majority of up and comers that I see are just fast and like have good back to back patterns as well, right? So they just end
Hmm.
up as 3 PPS 150 APM as soon as they get there. It's not like they just like they're 3 PPS 100 APM, which I mean sounds good, but like if you think about it, that's like zero point 0.5 APP or something. I don't wait. Let me do the math. Someone get we
Three
get
and
a
100. That's like
3 over
0.45.
100. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. That's
Not very. It's not great. It's not great.
I just put 3 divided by 100 by 60. I don't think that's how that
It's
works.
100 divided by 3 by 60.
3 by 60. Yeah, that's
I got you.
0.555
0.55.
APP. That's bad. Especially in Tetrio, like that's awful. Um,
It's not. It's like when you it's when you play against someone and you know you can't beat them, and then you get opener killed. That's the APP you end up with.
yeah.
But I like a lot of these up and comers are floating like
Like
some very
insane
very like
numbers. Like
solid efficiency.
obviously it's like Tetrio is like, it's a little more inflated compared to the numbers that we had back in the days of yore on like TF and
Hmm.
Jstris, but like the people are playing well above 120, right? And that above 120 is like, oh, you're four widing like back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
It's it's
And now
insane. Yeah.
it's just you're going crazy on the sticks. And honestly, even like at the beginning of 2021, the top play was probably like 140-ish in a given round. It was probably like
Yeah, yeah.
sets would probably end around 130,
Yeah.
140 p.m.
To be fair though,
Especially early
also like
2021.
I think that was also like pass through definitely inflated it even more back then. I think
Mm-hmm.
these numbers are kind of slightly more comparable to Jstris's. Like you don't really see any of these players also like being bad at Jstris either. I guess that was never even the case. Um,
Players in Tetrio are also very, very good at
yeah.
gestures.
Anyway,
Arsenal?
yeah. But yeah.
I think yeah, I think it's really really interesting to think about the volume of players now that if you took them to a 2021 bygone era
Yeah.
of like Kadon's Tetrio tournament, they probably like place well. They probably do super well.
Yeah. Like I don't know. I feel
And
like if you drop like 5 of these players to or like 8 of these players to like 2019, they are beating they are getting top 8 at that year's Jesters Cup. Maybe that's a
mm,
stretch. Firestone was still there. Hajamba was still there.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Was Firestorm and Jumba that good
Or
in
like
Justice in
it's
2019?
also like there was sort of a thing like um they both restricted their speed pretty heavily. I feel like they were both definitely capable of playing at like 3.5 PPS, but like they just decided not to go that fast, I think. I don't know.
Mm.
That's I'm putting together I'm might be misremembering things I've heard and like it's all like a game of telephone, but either way, that's not the
That's fine.
point we're making. The point we're making is people are really, really good now, and there's a lot of people that are really, really good, and that they're not talked about as much. And with that, I think we can try and just like continue to get like just go down the Tetra channel and just Tetra League
We could
rated
pull some
boards.
viewer questions. I do see
Yeah,
that the one and only Mayaz, who we have been
yeah.
talking about, is in
We've
chat.
talked. I don't think we've like specifically talked around about Mayas yet, or like gone into it.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking
You
about
can talk about it.
yeah, we're talking um about up and coming players that are just like they perform decently well at tournaments, but like there's no it's a kind of a tier underneath the super top player, but feels like they're
Mm-hmm.
starting to like claw at their heels. I mean, actually, it's still hard to imagine people it like you look at players like Diao, CZ, like the top tier, and it's like it's really hard to imagine touching them. But like players we used to consider top players, like
Like,
I don't know, like
mm,
I don't want to say anything like controversial.
like a
Yeah,
QMK. We could throw QMK
yeah,
under the bus. He's cool.
yeah.
You see
Like
QMK kind of.
they're all like within the hitting range. They hit like the
Mm-hmm.
the punching
They're
striking distance,
between
striking
like the
distance
next.
between like this up and coming tier of player and like kind of tier 2
Mm.
of our top players. The chat scene is broken. Oh, no one's talking in chat. That's why I was circling. Um, but yeah, That's all I'm
I'm
saying.
I'm happy that there are a lot of players on the up and up. I
Yes.
would like to be one of the players on the up and up,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you would too.
Is Mayus still in chat? I think they said they were lurking.
I don't know. Maybe they aren't. Maybe they're gone.
I was gonna ask when they started playing, but that's okay.
They're. Uh, I don't know. I think today's gonna be a shorter episode. We
Yeah,
did
it's fine.
prepare to.
It's fine. I think we've talked a lot. I think we could either make this like on the shorter side, or we could go forever if we talked about every single person that we wanted to talk about here. I
Hmm.
guess QB. I know QB was also they got red a while ago because they got like top 8 in a tournament, I think.
Mm.
But
Yeah, that's
QB is
right.
also I think around that like up and coming tier. Uh, I remember QB asked for like coaching in MMC when they were like a 24K. Um,
Hmm.
I think I gave some like random pointers um about like downstacking or something and like covering garbage. It's just like small mistakes that like you kind of just have to eventually play through. But I recommended like
Hmm.
some single player exercises and stuff because it's just good to focus on that. It's I think like at that time a lot of like Tetris stars up and comers they didn't play single player at all. They just spammed Tetra League until they were better at the game. Uh, Not
There's one way
ineffective,
to do things.
but like
One
I
way to
think
do
it's still worth like
it.
doing
Hmm.
some single player, just doing some targeted practice. I just think it's not the only thing you should do now.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, what else is here? We'll get one more.
Do one more.
One more.
How long has Mystery been good?
Mystery's been good forever, or not
Mystery's
forever,
been
but
good
for a
forever.
while. Um, or just longer than I know, longer than my knowledge goes. Actually, I think a player that we don't talk about too much is like an epic. I guess didn't Duck Life get a lot better at the start of Tetrio? Like he was one of
I
the
have
first like
no. I don't really
I
know.
don't know either. I think Cyperion told me once that like Duck he felt like Duck Life got like way faster, way better. Like in a very short period of time after Tetrio came out.
Mm.
Um, Not many people. I don't know how many people remember his no T spins phase back when alts were allowed. He would just like stack people to death, like sprint people to death, do multipliers. He doesn't play like that like he doesn't play like super inefficiently anymore. But that was like
As you
his
can
whole
tell,
thing.
150 APM. Sheesh.
Yes. He's not an up and comer though. He's been established as a top player
He's
for a
been
very
good
long
for a
time.
long time. I feel like we have to, if we're talking about up and comers, there's like no world where we can't talk about Caboozled. And I
Yeah,
think that's
I think
probably a good
he
place
kind
to
of leads
end.
the charge. I guess not necessarily. I don't think he's like the fastest improving player or like the best player, but he's definitely up there in both regards, but he's definitely the most
Hmm.
well known. Um,
Yeah, especially now because it's like we see the people climbing into the spot where Caboozled probably was through a lot of 2021.
yeah,
Now Caboozled now is like number 4 Tetra League,
yeah,
which is probably like top 10 global actually.
yeah. I think in a way, Caboozled kind of epitomizes that. He's like the quintessential like Tetrio improver, you know?
Hmm.
Like he's like got good back to back vision. He got good in the beginning mostly just by spamming a ton of TL games. Like I'm pretty sure he has the most TL games in here. He has
In the top
5,000.
bunch.
He has 5,000 TL games, and like the second is like Z2 Sam with 3,700. Oh, I guess who is
That's
Soyd?
Audrey Pro.
Oh, 7,000. My bad then. There goes my narrative.
Classic Audrey Pro. No, I mean Caboozled is a fair bit better than Audrey Pro. It is worth noting.
um, Ildrain has 9,000 games. What the? Oh my god. I'm not gonna
That's
talk
it.
about this anymore. But yeah, Cavoozle, good back-to-back vision. Um, got good by spamming a bunch of TL. I think dipped his toes into loop openers and like strong opener game. Like he's the
Mm-hmm.
quintessential Tetrio player, I think. I think he was also one of the first to like really like exploit Tetrio mechanics. That's I think the narrative. I feel like everyone figured it
Mm-hmm.
out after a while, but like
Kaboodle is like very like in the limelight of people's vision,
yeah,
but which is why you like can't not notice when he gets like number 4 Tetra League.
yeah. I think we're sort of
Um.
mixing people around. There's also
Mm-hmm.
like that's like the Tetrio improver, but like a player like Quick is like he's been kind of on the up and coming, or not up and he's like been improving at a more average rate, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like he started playing around when I did, and now he's here, right? He can compete.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't know. I don't know like the skill
Quick's really
differences anymore.
good.
Quick is really
Quick's
good.
very good.
I think OJ is also a player that started playing around me and Quick's time. He also like basically like it's like people that started on Jstris, excuse me, and
Mm-hmm.
like when TF died, versus people that started on Tetrio when Jstris died. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. Uh,
Is you know what, the era of Tetrio is kind of,
yeah.
I think it's a good one. It's a good one to live in as
Anyway,
a person who
yeah.
like likes to see people improving and such.
Yeah, I'm down to call it there though. Like for
I
this
think yeah.
topic, if we have any like chat questions, or we have a one Twitter question that we can go into very briefly. Um,
Yeah. Quick question from David Skin before we wrap things up.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, he wanted to ask about coaching methods. He writes, I'm genuinely curious about this as to how you guys go about teaching new players or relatively experienced players. Where do you start and what do you teach? Which is completely not the topic at hand,
yeah,
but
yeah. I
I did
mean,
ask
yeah.
for general questions this week. What do you think, Ors?
I think
What do you
we've
think?
talked about coaching
Mm-hmm.
pretty often. I don't know how much we've talked about our updated coaching views. I guess I did a little bit. It hasn't changed that much, but I've kind of talked to some people again about coaching. Um,
Mm-hmm.
or like I've kind of like coached a few people again, just kind of on the down low. Someone commented on like a community post of mine that was like, "Oh, you should like record your coaching sessions." I'm like, "What coaching sessions? I don't know." Like, um,
The old ones, Ors.
yeah. Uh, I remember my first coaching session with NISD was I just like walked her through a cheese race, like a whole 100 line. It was like an hour of like talk. I was like 30 minutes of talking with her, and then an hour long cheese race or something. Maybe not an hour long cheese race, but
Mm.
yeah, my opinions have very much shifted. I try to keep things shorter, and like once like a general message is reached, I'm just done. Like I just give them the information and I leave, because I'm not really trying to give them a good like the people I do coach nowadays are just like people that happen to be in a server or like that I'm in or like our
Yeah.
friends. So I just give them enough information that they need to keep working and then let them ask questions later. I'm not really putting on airs to try to like engage them in the community anymore. Um,
Yeah. Honestly, I think we've both kind of like fallen off the whole coaching thing
yeah,
just because of like other
yeah,
commitments and other stuff that we do uh
yeah,
in that time instead. I know I haven't
yeah,
coached people in a real way in a long time.
yeah. It's just like how
Um,
quickly you stop, I guess. Is that how quickly you stop explaining things for teaching a new player versus a relatively experienced player is how I talk about as how I think about it.
mhm.
It's just like how much is going to be useful to them. Um, Very little is going to be useful when you're new. Um, or that's
Yeah.
not completely true, but very little is going
The
to need.
information overload
Yeah, you're gonna get
is very
information
real.
overloaded really quickly as a new player, so you need to keep things really short. Or like if
Mhm.
things are really short, it's not really going to be any worse than doing something that's much longer. It might
Yeah.
even be better than something that's much longer. But I mean, yeah, I've talked about
Mhm.
the coaching in the coaching episode and also like that retrospect. Did you know that has like 1,000 views? I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah,
You know what? I kind of believe it. People probably just like listening to your voice,
I
and
think
if that's an
it
hour
was a pretty
straight.
good thumbnail. It was like a year of coaching Tetris. It was like, like, oh, I feel like people that didn't even don't know about Tetris could click on that video, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
But then they probably
I
clicked
vibe with
off the
that.
video.
Wonder what the analytics for how long they stay on it is.
I could check,
Who
but
knows?
I'll do it later. That's whatever. But yeah, do you have anything
Yeah,
you want to say? Sorry for kind of.
nah, it's all good. I think, uh, in terms of teaching new players, what do you teach is a very
Yeah,
like it's a hard question to answer, but it's also an incredibly easy question to answer. The answer is you teach them how to like stack. You
yeah.
teach them their fundamentals, and you
Oh,
teach them how
oh,
to stack,
sorry.
and you teach them like do eternal exercise
Yeah, yeah,
or something like that. But it's not even so much, and my philosophy on this part has not changed whatsoever. It's not even how you teach it. It's not even like what you teach, because what you're teaching a new player especially is like it's always the same stuff.
yeah.
It's always the same stuff.
You know what has changed about my coaching style? Like, if you can even call it that,
Mm.
I just send people my videos now. It's crazy. I don't need to type anything anymore. I just say, hey, watch this, and I like send it to them. It's crazy. And then
Wow.
I don't even need to
Look at
explain
you.
it. That's the real reason I make videos. I can just send people a link. I don't have to
Look at you.
explain anything anymore.
But yeah. Just like what do you teach is a very obvious question to answer to a new player. To an experienced player is just like whatever you
Yeah,
as the coach or as the audience perceive to be
yeah.
uh where they're like lackluster
You
or
know
where
what?
they just
I
like
think
need
I'll
work.
eventually have a set. I'll have enough links. I'll have enough videos out. That I can just send links to even experienced players. Like U ranks, I feel like I could. There's a few links that a U rank could use. Uh, like mistakes are
Top
usually the same.
15 tips to get to X rank by
Yeah, yeah,
25
yeah,
by
yeah.
25. Great video by the way.
All right. Yeah,
I think that's
I'm
a
good.
about as good a
Yeah,
place to wrap as any.
yeah. Make sure you guys all go watch the fight night. Is it still going on?
I think so. I think they're close to the end. It's almost
Yeah.
7. Oh, they're already done.
Oh,
Womp womp.
well,
Well,
that's fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming,
Thanks
everyone.
for coming, everyone.
I
See ya.
do recommend that
Oh,
you all check out the
the VOD.
PK MMC Fight Nights, the VODs, and just like in general. If you want to play in them, I think they do accept.
Yeah, just go ask, and then you
Yeah.
can go play.
All right.
Good place.
Thanks
Yeah.
for coming.
See ya.